Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right. You tuned into another episode of the Viewers Anonymous podcast where we give you our very own reviews and takes of movies and TV straight out of Hollywood. What's going on with you, my guy?
Man, listen, it's been a long couple of days, man. Long couple of days. But, you know what I'm saying? But your boys all right, though, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm making it out here in these streets, just trying to survive, man. And figure out this thing that we call life. But, man, how you feeling? Everything been good with you?
And everything is amazing, my boy. I ain't got no complaints, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just out here trying to, you know what I'm saying, keep it pushing. Pretty much. Okay. You know what I mean? I'm excited. Father's Day is coming up. And Juneteenth is coming up. So it's gonna be a pretty exciting weekend.
That's what's up, man. And you know what I'm saying? First and foremost, before we even get started, man, you know, for you, rest in peace, rest in power to your father. And also, man, happy Father's Day to you. You know what I'm saying? I see the work and the dedication that you put into your boys. So, man, I'm pretty sure that they gladly appreciate that, man. You know, Absolutely. I've been watching you from afar for years. You know what I mean? And every time I've always seen you go over and beyond for your boys, man. So, I just want to tell you, say happy Father's Day. I don't know how much, what I'm saying, the fans know. But you know what I'm saying, but you put your work in, man. And
man, same to you, brother. Happy Father's Day to you, man, and also happy Father's Day to your dad, man. You know, I seem like I said, you always, well, I don't always say it, but I'm definitely gonna tell you now, man. It's very comforting knowing that I'm working with somebody who also has that same ethic and that same care and love for their kids too. Because there's a lot of people out here, man, that you'd be surprised at how much they don't do for their kids and how much they ain't there for their kids. And I just like the fact that, you know what I'm saying, it's at least a couple of us out here, man, that's ruining that stereotype of black fathers. You know what I'm saying? About how black fathers ain't never there and they ain't never for their kids or doing nothing for their kids. And you know what I'm saying? The fact that you out here being a single dad, raising two of your own, and you know what I'm saying, showing them the way and showing them how it's done, bro. Gotta salute you for that, my guy.
Man, appreciate that, man.
No doubt.
Look, and I know that there's mothers that oh man, we've been doing it for centuries and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And we appreciate those.
Nah, we don't do that shit on Mother's Day. Don't get that shit out of here.
Nah. I mean, you're right. But you know what I'm saying? But it's just, being a single dad and shit, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? And and having custody of my boys, really, for the past 5 years, since the breakup and everything, it's just like, it's hard work. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard work. But you know what I'm saying? That's why, I do what I need to do. Like, I've been like working extra and shit, been doing 6 days every other week and shit like that. And it's, it's mainly for the boys. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You just got to do what you got to do because ain't nobody going to hand you shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, But I appreciate that though, man. But I also wanted to tell you also, man, shout out to Siege, you know what I'm saying? JD and E, you know what I'm saying? They're doing their things too, man. So appreciate those guys. And, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Casey too, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. He hit me the other day. Oh, so I need to get a pod with him. Mm-hmm. So he called me because I had texted him because we supposed to be working on some music and shit. I texted him, he didn't respond. I called him, he didn't answer, right? So I'm like, all right, whatever, he's busy. So he fucking calls me last weekend. Was it last weekend? Damn. But anyway, so he was like, yo, he said, I know you called me and I didn't call you back. He said, I wanted to hold this information. I was like, what? He's like, guess where I'm at? I'm like, what? He's like, I'm at the Roots picnic. And I was like, you was able to make it.
Yeah, I seen
so that. So he was at the Roots picnic and shit, right? And so he's like, he's telling me that he was actually able to sit down, well, not sit down, but like have some conversation with some, with some powerful people or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was like he told them about the podcast. You know what I'm saying? This podcast, fucking 28, and he was able to hand off, you know what I'm saying, some of his music. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying? It was someone that worked with Questlove. He was able to actually get some shit handed out to some people and told them about the pods and shit. So I just wanted to say that on the podcast, man. First of all, happy Father's Day to you, Casey. But at the
Absolutely.
same time, I appreciate all of the shit that he do because he does this shit all the time. He goes places, he promote the pods more than I do. You know what I
Yeah, me
mean?
too. At this
And
point.
and so I just wanted to say it on the pod, man, that I appreciate you going up there and actually having, you know, these two platforms on your mind, being in Philadelphia at an event, sharing this information. So I just
Absolutely.
want to salute him and I appreciate him for that.
And listen, for those who don't know who Casey is, I'm sure you guys have probably heard us say his name multiple times, but he is pretty much like our sound man. He's like our unofficial sound man in a weird way, bro. Like
Yeah.
he done some work for us. He's the creator of the What We Watching thing that we got. So for sure, man, like without him, bro, this shit would be a lot harder. I will say that. Like when he came up with that What We Watching, bro, that shit was perfect. So salute to him for that, man.
Yes, sir.
And also, bro, like it's funny because I had just called my little cousins because I had tagged them in this post, and the post was asking about, what I'm saying, like name 3 artists or whatever that you think is dope, blah blah blah. And shit, I only tagged them. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get a chance to really tag anybody else. Um, but like dude instantly hit me up. You know what I'm saying? We had a conversation about him, and he was like, "Well, shit, they ain't never say nothing, so I ain't know if they was with it or not." I instantly called them today, like, "Hey man, get in that motherfucker's DMs and send them y'all music ASAP." Like, da da. And like the crazy thing is, like, he works with a lot of people on the West Coast. Um, that's like comedians, and they do skits, and they got like big platforms. Like, I don't know if you watch a lot of YouTube or anything, but like Big Ja, um, Craig Smith, and all them, like he, worked closely with them. And I'm like, that could be some music placement for y'all. That could be a lot of, different stuff. And it's so funny, bro, just how, like we really are cultivating this group of people that just really fuck with each other and really doing shit with each other, bro. And it's just, this shit just getting more and more fun, man, as time go on. I cannot lie. It's getting more and
Yes,
more
sir.
fun, bro.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man, salute to Casey. And speaking of Casey, man, let's go ahead and get into one of our favorite segments, if not the favorite segment of the show, man. We call it What We Watching. You ready?
Yes, sir.
What we watching?
What we watching?
All right. So what you got this week, bro?
Whew. Well, you know what I'm saying? For the people that listens to this pod, they know we missed a week. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I got some shit stacked up. You know what I mean? I got a few what we watching. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna rattle through 3 of them. All right. So I'm trying not to spend real long on these. So the very first one is actually a prequel to a movie that we done on here. The movie X.
Yeah.
So X got a prequel called Pearl. So I
Mm-hmm.
watched Pearl. Pearl was the old lady. You know what I'm saying? The old lady that was killing motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So it's about her when she was young. So it's about her around the same age of the girl that was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, she played 2 characters. So the
Right.
same girl played her, back in the day or whatever. And so it just really explained like how she got to how she was and all this type of shit or whatever, whatnot. Personally, I thought X was better.
Yeah.
Pearl was okay. Her backstory was like super weird, but I mean, when we saw her as an old person,
She was
you
still super
kind of
weird.
yeah. So you can really put the shit together, and it's crazy that she still was feeding that same fucking alligator. But but nah, it was alright, man. Shout out to Kid Cudi. He's one of the producers. He was on one of the producers of X as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's supposed to be 3 parts. So I think it's supposed to be another one. I don't know who they're gonna zero in on as far as the 3rd installment, but the 2nd installment, it was cool. it didn't have the effect of X, but you know what I'm saying, it was alright. So the other movie I watched, I actually saw this on Peacock, and it's called The Price We Pay. And so it's basically, the movie starts out where these three people go in to rob this fucking pawn shop. But there's a girl in the back, and she's trying to get an extension on some shit that she pawned already. And so the dude is basically, I mean, I'm talking about the dude that was the manager for the fucking for the pawn shop.
Yeah.
He bought 300. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, you know, there's another way we can, you know.
No way, bro. No way.
And so the robbery's happening. So he see on the TV screen that, you know, there's a robbery going on. So he goes to try to stop it. And so he gets shot the fuck up. And so the girl tried to take off running in the back. And so the people catch her. And so what ended up happening is they end up using her basically as a hostage. And like, because the dude that was driving the getaway car, he fucking took off because the police, because the alarm went off. Yeah. So they getaway driver left their ass. So the girl drove a car there, so they had the girl drive the car. So they end up driving to this fucking secluded house or whatever. And so they pull up to the house, and it's this young kid out there. He's he's in the stables working or whatever. And they was like, look, man, the car ended up breaking down. And so they had to walk. That's how they got to this secluded house, whatever. So they get to the house, they asked the boy, because they was like they had the stables, a house, and a little outhouse. So he asked, could they chill in the outhouse till morning or whatever. So they sitting there chilling, but he was like, yo, like, you got to be quiet, blase, because my grandfather get home, you know. So come to find out, they sitting in the house, they hear this truck pull up, they look, they see a dude carrying a body on his shoulder. And they like, oh shit, like what the fuck? Come to find out, they got a whole fucking torture room. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even really a torture room. Like, what it is because the dude's daughter, which was, because the dude said my grandfather. So it was his grandparents, but his mother died because she needed like some kind of transplant or whatever. And they couldn't get her something. I don't know if it was a liver or whatever the fuck it was. So now they just fucking snatching up people and taking their body parts and shit. And so it's a crazy ass fucking movie. Like, for the fact that where these motherfuckers robbed the pawn shop, end up going to a house where there's people fucking cutting people open and taking out their organs and shit. Yeah. And then they had to fight off these motherfuckers at the end of the movie and shit. So
first and foremost, to go from the freaky pawn shop owner to having to fight your way out of a fucking Texas Chainsaw House is wild.
I'm telling you, it took a turn. I did not see that. I mean, I watched the preview and I'm like, okay, so I kind of got a concept. And I'm like, yo, I really didn't expect for this fucking shit to happen. So that was on Peacock. That's called The Price We Pay. So another Peacock movie, I'm gonna run through this real quick. Shooting Stars. You know what I'm saying? I was able to watch Shooting Stars. Shout out to LeBron. Also, movie, right? Yeah. Also, shout out to my guy in the movie. They called him Uncle Willie. You know what I'm saying? I had, you know what I'm saying? I had the pleasure of having Willie McGee on the podcast a couple of years ago. Yeah. But it was the story of, you know, them as a young kid and them all going, you know, making the choice to go to St. Vincent St. Mary. How the black community hated them because it was, you know, St. Vincent St. Mary was a white school. They were supposed to go to this black school, but the reason they didn't go was because Drew was told that he was going to be on the JV squad. And he was like, nah, he was like, I ain't playing on the JV squad. And it was like, and he told the coach, so it was about the coach. And it was pretty good, man. I like the actors that they chose to use. There was some shit that I did not know had happened. It was an alright little movie, man. A little backstory. Come to find out, I didn't even know Willie was the star first. I didn't know that. Yeah. I didn't know that he was the star first, and then LeBron just, you know what I'm saying, surpassed him or whatever. And then they also had a little scene where Willie was talking to his brother, and he was just like, you know what I'm saying, like throughout these years, he was like, it seemed like everybody got better, but I stayed in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, well, this is what you got to understand. He was like, first of all, it ain't just about basketball. He's like, why you think they call you Uncle Willie? He's like, they've been calling you Uncle Willie since y'all was like 11 years old. He's like, because you're a
Mm-hmm.
leader and you got other things, coming for you in life that may not
Mm-hmm.
involve basketball. And like I say, he ended up becoming the athletic director of St. Vincent St. Mary.
When he was an actor too, wasn't
Yeah, he was. He was at Akron. He
he?
was like an assistant coach or something like that.
Yeah.
But he ended up being the athletic director there. Like this motherfucker got an award from Obama. You know what I'm saying, for the work that
Mm-hmm.
he does in the community of Akron. You know what I mean?
That's
So
what's
like,
up.
you know what I mean? So he actually fulfilled that shit. So shout out to Willie. But I watch Shooting Stars on Peacock.
Yeah, that's big, man. So what I got this week is I went to take my boys to the movies, man, and we went to go see Transformers: Rise of the Beast. It was a good movie, you know what I'm saying? It was a dope movie. I'm confused about the timeline of Transformers. I will say
Mm-hmm.
that only because this was supposed to be set in 1994. So I don't know exactly how, you know what I'm saying, like the whole timeline worked, but I will say the actors in there, they did a great job. Dominique Fishback, I don't know, man. She a new one. She a new one. She moving up in the ranks for me, man. You know what I'm saying? She getting to that sexy stage real fast. I will say that. She is getting there, bro. Sir,
Did
you
you
got
see
to be
Swarm?
quiet, man. Hmm?
Did you see Swarm?
Not yet. Not yet. I gotta watch
Okay.
it. But yeah,
Okay.
I trust me. In that movie though, she's alright. So but nah, like the lead actor, I forgot what his name is, but he's been in a few things. He did a great job. Shout out to Toby Nwigwe. He was in there. When I'm telling you that dude is a natural born star, bro. At this point, I don't think it ain't nothing Toby can't do, bro. I'm sorry. I don't think there's anything that dude can't do. I'm talking about he was the comedic relief in there, and he killed, bro. He killed. He did a great job. He only had like a few little moments in there, but for the time that he had in there, he did a heck of a job. So shout out to Toby Nwigwe. He did a great job in that. And then I also want to shout out to the people who did the score for the movie, like as far as like putting the music in there and all that. Man, when I
Mm-hmm.
tell you, bro, it's supposed to be in 1994 New York. So when I tell you they had all the good hip hop in that movie, bro, they had everything in there. I know the soundtrack for it is gonna be crazy, but it just everything just it fit perfectly, man. They did a great job of that. Um, I'm salty because they ain't had my guy Rat Trap in there. They still had Cheetor, but they ain't really, you know what I'm saying, show him in there, which I thought was crazy because like Cheetor was one of the people favorites, you know what I'm saying, in Beast Wars, but they might end up coming back. So if y'all get a chance, definitely go see that, man. I believe it's still in, well, yeah, it should be because it just came out, but it's still in theaters, man. It's worth going to see. It's fun. It's exciting. Everybody gonna love it. It's not just for kids. It's not just what I'm saying. Like if you grew up in the early '90s, late '80s, you definitely gonna love it because this is around the time that we was kids. So it was a great movie. And then last but not least, man, I believe it's on HBO Max. I think it's on HBO Max or Max now. I'm sorry, it's on the Max. But it's called The Murders at White House Farm.
Okay.
Great show, bro. Great show. So basically, it's this girl and her family. I guess she has like some mental issues or whatever, and she's supposed to be on medicine, and she ain't really taking it. And because she's not really taking her medicine, her husband decides to, bring her back around her family and stuff like that so she can, be okay, had the right care for her and stuff like that. But he has to leave and do something with his job while they there. And so when he leaves, he ends up getting some information, and he gets a call, and everybody's dead at the house. Everybody dead.
Yeah.
And the only person that ain't dead is the brother. But the brother ended up calling the police and some other stuff like that. So they basically ruled it murder suicide because they thought that the girl did it because of her mental issues. And so everything happens, you know what I'm saying? They going through all this, and it's this one police officer that's like, something ain't right about this whole thing. None of this shit makes sense. And then next thing you know, come to find out the person who did it was the brother. We end up finding out that the brother ended up killing everybody in the house, leaving, calling, and making this whole story up, and pretty much blaming everything on his sister. But he, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a good watch. It's worth it if you are into murder mystery and all that type of stuff. This is right up your alley. This is for you. Definitely check it out.
Cool. Ain't mad at those.
My apologies. So yeah, definitely check that out, bro. It's worth a watch. So today we have a double feature for you guys. In honor of the release of Extraction 2 coming out on Netflix, we are going to do a double feature of Extraction 1 and Extraction 2, starring Chris Hemsworth, Ferrani.
I was waiting. I was like, let me see how you do this.
Hold on. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it a shot. Go Shifty, Ferrani. I hope I said that one right. Adam Besa and a slew of other people, man. That's the second one, and then the first one starred the same people basically: Chris Hemsworth, Ferrani, and Besa. So where you want to start with this one, bro? Where you want to start off?
Okay, so the thing about the Extraction joint, and what really drawn me to it in the very beginning is the fact that this one came out in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at what Chris Hemsworth was doing at that time, like this was really coming right off of Endgame.
Yeah.
So this is coming off of Endgame. So it's like, okay, so this is the first movie that he chose to do, and it's a Netflix movie called Extraction.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, so I watched this movie when it first came out. I'm like, yo, like this is dope. And this is you had the phrase for it, and I'm pretty sure this is where they got it from, but just militarized it. Was like this gun kung fu thing, you know what I'm saying? That's really going on in the whole John Wick shit.
Yeah, they call it gun fu. They term that. Yeah, that's often the people from John Wick. They actually named it that.
Yeah, so it's a lot of that, but they just militarized the shit.
Yeah.
And so basically, you know, this guy that's locked up, he's a very powerful guy. His son get kidnapped, and they hired, you know, Tyler and his team to go and rescue this boy. But then there's a turn in the mission where they was like, yo, like this kid is gonna cause us too much trouble. Just basically, like, you'd be better off just killing the kid. You know what I mean? And just, you know, keep it pushing. But he was just like, nah, like I can't do that. And so I just thought that the whole concept of the movie, but like my thing is like, this is what really, in my opinion, because if you take the Marvel stuff out, like for me, this take Chris Hemsworth as far as like action stars to the next level.
Yes. This
you know
is a great start. Yeah.
Yeah, this really sets him up because the way that they was able to put a lot of this shit together in these gunfights, like I don't know how long it took these motherfuckers to train for this shit, but like he went in on this shit, and like and it's like there's like these I mean, like this dude is using bodies to knock out other people, like he's like like I mean, and then it's like he got this thing. I mean, I'm talking about. There was one scene where he stabbed the dude in the throat like 17 times in less than 3 seconds. Like this shit was mad crazy, but I'm talking about You want to talk about overkill? There's a lot of overkill in this movie, but that shit was
In
dope
both
as fuck.
movies.
Oh, man, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
in
but
both
like,
movies for sure.
but my first impressions of it was just like it was really done really, really well. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But also, I mean, they got the Russo brothers involved with it, and and
Yeah.
they was involved in the end game Infinity War shit. So,
Hmm.
but like, yeah, man, my first impressions, I was, dude, we had Extraction on the list since 2020.
Yeah, forever.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just a coincidence. Yeah, we did not plan this.
Yeah,
I swear to y'all, we did not plan this.
yeah.
Like
This
we
is
we
super
did the
spontaneous.
list, and this is how spontaneous it is. We missed last week,
Yeah,
so we really were supposed to do this last Friday.
yeah,
So we really did not plan this shit, and it
yeah.
ended up falling on the same day as Distraction too. So yeah, that's dope. But man, what was like your first impressions of, especially the first one, like when you first seen it?
So the first one I was actually late to. So of course, you know what I'm saying, like when movies like this come out, everybody's talking about it. Everybody is pretty much comparing it to everything else that what I'm saying, the star of the movie is done. And for him to go from Endgame and everything that he was doing as Thor in the MCU to then to go into this role, I know a lot of people are like, it's still kind of action, but this is two totally different things. And for him to be able to pull this off, coming off of the success that he had there, is super dope because first and foremost, it's it's Netflix, but it's not box office. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
Endgame is box office. All that is major. And then you go to Netflix and you give that same quality. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta give an applause for Chris Hemsworth because for him to, what I'm saying, put on the role that he did, and then not only that, for him to have to do the, what I'm saying, the choreographed fights and the stunts and all that, because I'm sure he did some of his own stunts. So for him to have to go through all that and what I'm saying, do everything he did and the what I'm saying, the time it take to work out for all that. Well, I mean that wasn't too much of nothing because he was coming off of Thor and dude
Yeah.
stay ripped. So, but I think he did an amazing job. Like first and foremost, the character that he's playing, I thought it was interesting that because what I'm saying, when it gets to the point of the movie to where they talking about killing the kid off because of his past, he definitely ain't, what I'm saying, he that's a route that he's not going at all. That's not even a route that you can question. Um and what I'm saying, that kind of comes up and you kind of get a backstory, which I definitely always love. You can't go wrong with that. You gotta have backstory as far as these characters because you don't want to just throw characters on the screen without really giving them something, what I'm saying, giving the people something to actually link up and connect to. And they did a great job with that. Um, what I do appreciate for the first one though is the way that it's set up. It's set up for a lot of different things. It could have set up for somebody else to take this, what I'm saying, in the sequel part. It could have set up for somebody else to link up with them and start. It could have set up for a totally different story than what we got in the second one. Um, that's hard to do because there's a lot of movies, especially when you watch some of these movies that have the endings that what I'm saying, like Extraction has, or other movies that we've seen where we watched, and then we thinking that it's definitely gonna be a sequel and end up just being a one-off. Like it's hard to make that type of ending, and so for them to even be able to put that together, I thought was impressive. And I mean, the movie is just action packed, bro. You can't really go
Yeah.
wrong with that. Like it's never lacking even in the story, like the story feels, what I'm saying, like a rush of adrenaline. Even figuring out what's going on, seeing how they doing everything, and even them planning stuff, like everything feels action. It feels like an authentic action movie, and it really is an authentic action movie. So I definitely appreciate that. I really like the way that they put this shit together, man. On both of them actually, both of them to me, you can't go wrong.
A movie that, I mean, it's not similar, but just as far as like the action pack part,
Yeah.
it reminds me of. You remember how Crank hit?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like Crank was just fucking action movie on steroids. Like that's what this movie was. It was like once he went into that room and tried to basically, it wasn't even really a negotiation, but he was just like, yo, like, give me the kid or whatever, whatnot. Like, starting from there, it was non-stop.
Yeah.
Like that shit kept going and going and going and going and going. And it was, and then for the one guy, because it went into this other storyline with this guy and his wife and his little son, because he was the one that was supposed to get the boy anyway, and like all that type shit. Like their fight scene that shit was insane. Both of these motherfuckers got hit by cars. Like both of these dudes got hit by, like Chris Hemsworth, Tyler got hit in the middle of a fight, dude. In the middle of a fight, he got hit by a car. Like right in the middle.
It got better in the second one because it definitely was that type of scene, and it was something similar to that in the second one.
Yeah, and then 5 minutes later, old dude get hit by a truck, and both of these dudes are still out here kicking, and it's so weird. And then I like how they put the one part, because like when you look at Tyler and you, the reason what makes his character really stand out is because of the backstory of his son and his, I don't know if I would assume they were married, but his wife or whatever, or ex-wife, or however we want to put it. We find out a little bit more about her in the second one. But like the reason why he couldn't really kill the kid, they don't really explain to you in the first one what happened, but you just know something happened to his kid. And the way they made it seem like in the first one, something happened to the kid and the wife.
Right.
So like you don't really know what's exactly going on, because like he keeps having these visions, but they're blurry. Like they don't get clear into the second movie, which was really dope. I like how they did that. But it's like, so when they told him like, yo, like you're better off just killing the kid, and like he disobeyed his own orders from his people, like, yo, like this kid is gonna bring us too much trouble.
Yeah.
And for him to be like, nah, and then to have the fight scene that he had with the one dude, and then end up calling him to help. It's like, you know what I mean? And like, and it was so funny because when he told them what to do, like to get them across the bridge or whatever, and like, so the dude is in the car with the kid, and he was like, yo, do you trust him? And he was like, yeah. And it was like, you start to see like the shit, like, man, listen, that little grenade gun joint that he got, man, listen, that shit dope as fuck. Like, it was better with the shit that he did in the second one with that, when it came to that grenade launcher thing. But big like time. In the first one, it was dope, and like how he was sniping people. It's like he was put in the most impossible situations that he made it out of those shit. So like, man, I mean, they made it.
I'm glad you said it before me, because this second, I can't wait till we get to the second one, because we got to talk about some stuff in the second one.
Well, definitely, but I mean, the whole scene, the last 15 to 20 minutes of this movie is like
the bridge scene.
Before the bridge.
Oh yeah, no, but I know what you're saying. But like them getting to there, like them actually getting to the extraction, that whole sequence. Hey, that's one of the best sequences in an action movie I've seen in a minute.
Yeah, they killed that.
That bridge scene in general, though, that's they did a hell of a job.
And the reason why I'm keep pointing out like right before the bridge is because like when he asked that kid like, do you trust him?
Yeah.
Like when he was shooting at these cops, like they figured out where he was, so everybody started coming up there, and he was by himself. Yeah. So he had to fight his way to the bridge because the dude had hit him. Was like, yo, like I need your help at the bridge. He was like, yo, I'm on my way. Like he's battling with fucking 70 fucking cops, just trying to get to the fucking bridge to even help him at the bridge. It was great cinema, man. Like there's not a lot of action movies where it's continuously giving you this action, because sometimes there's like some dull movement. There was some dull, damn, if I could talk, some dull things going on.
Yeah.
And then it's like it gets back to it, and then it gets dull for a minute, and it get back to it.
Yeah.
There's like no dull. It's like it starts out kind of that way, and then once it starts,
from there,
it's nonstop.
Yeah, and see what I like though is the fact that when we seeing like these fight scenes, or when we seeing even these like shootouts and everything, it's not that over the top action hero type stuff. Like they try to make it as balanced as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, the perfect ending was the first Extraction. Him getting shot at the end and him seeming to die. Like I thought that was poetry, because I'm like, bruh, what's more fucking perfect than thinking you got the job done? You think the coast is clear, and then boom, you still end up getting hit. Like you don't expect that from, you know what I'm saying, like some of these action movies, and you don't get it from some of these action movies either. So the fact that they was even when he fighting, the fact that a lot of these people are getting the best of him in some of these fights, you like, damn, like this motherfucker, he throwing hands, but he really be getting his ass whooped in some of these fights. So you know what I'm saying, like you got to give the writers and the director credit, you know what I'm saying, for even making it to the point to where it's like, it makes it that much better because he's actually struck. He ain't just Lou Ferrigno and he knocking shit over and throwing people off bridges and shit. And you know what I'm saying? Like kicking people in the chest, they flying 50 feet away. It ain't none of that goofy shit. It's like it seemed like a real scenario to the point to where as you know what I'm saying, like as you dealing with it and as you watching it, you kind of like, nah, he really could like fail at any point in time in his mission. And I think that's what gives you that that's what gives you like that anxiety and that rush is like, man, he might not make it in this one. And it's like that throughout the whole movie, to where like at any point he could possibly not get through this.
Two perfect examples. Number one, he lost the kid like twice.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like other people snatched up the kid and he had to go back and go get him. That's one example. The second one, but I gotta give a little backstory to it for the people who haven't seen it, or maybe they haven't seen it in a while. Dude, one of the craziest things I've ever seen in a movie is when the whatever that dude was, there was all these kids on this roof. This motherfucker grabs a kid and throws him off the roof.
Yeah. I'm
talking about like a 10, 12-year-old kid throws him off the roof. We don't really see that in movies when kids get thrown off roofs. So then they're like, yo, who stole something or whatever? Money, I don't know. Somebody stole something. So then this kid is probably like 14, 15 years old, maybe 16. He steps up and says, I know who stole it. And like, who? The kid you just threw off the roof. And so then the dude told him to come here. And he was like, dude, that was really brave what you did. He was like, but I know what you're doing. You just don't want nobody else to get hurt. You want to blame it on a dead kid. So he was like, so because something was stolen from me, he said, I want you to cut off 3 of your fingers. He was like, I would prefer the left hand because, you know, your right hand, you know, you can still pull the trigger or whatever. So then they get a phone call and say that the kid is gone. And he told that kid right there, he said, you clever and you're lucky. So then, fast forward, the kid ended up fighting Tyler in the streets. Tyler got the best end of him. Then fast forward again. Who's on the bridge? That same fucking kid that was supposed to get 3 fingers cut off, but he didn't. And that motherfucker was the one who shot Tyler in the fucking neck. You know what I'm saying? When Tyler thought, like, I got everybody, we're done. And then he gets shot in the fucking neck. It's just crazy and ironic. And I like how they put that in the story, because the 3 times that we saw the kid, like we saw the kid basically was about to get murdered. Then they changed their mind and say, we're just going to cut 3 fingers off. And then he got the phone call. And then he was like, fuck it. And then he get in the fight scene in the street with him. And it's so funny seeing, like, because there was 2 other situations that was in that fight scene, and also in that that first one when he first grabbed the boy, there was a little kid that was probably like 8 years old or some shit, pulling the trigger, and it was no more bullets in the gun. and like he just took the gun from the kid and told the kid to go. And then there was another situation. You see a kid that's about 10, and he had to fucking throw the kid like up against the fucking car and shit. And it's like, it's how do you feel about that part? Like, actually, because the thing is, I know why they're doing it, because when it comes to being in like some of these foreign countries, like, you know, we hear stories from military people, and you know, they come back with PTSD and shit because they were like, yo, like there was a suicide bomber kid, like you can't even trust.
Or the fact that
like,
or the fact that they had to kill kids just because, you know what I'm saying? You don't know.
Because you don't know, and for them to actually really put this shit in a movie where it's like, oh man, that's fucked up, man. He threw that kid up against that car, but it's like, yo, like they be having these kids doing this shit.
Let me tell you something. I got an easy answer for you. They had a meme that said, "Would you fight 15 third graders all at once for $20,000?" I put absolutely. I'd smash each and every last one of them. You hear me? I'd beat the shit out of each and every last one of those third graders, bro. Forget that. This is my thing. I think that when we see stuff like this, like in these movies and stuff like that, because we have a certain society going on, we tend to forget like not every other society is that way, right? And it's some countries and some, well, not just countries, but it's some cultures to where once you hit 15, like you're considered a man. Like you literally go off and you become a fucking man. Ain't no graduating high school and all that. You're a man. And then you also got to remember, like, this is in, you know what I'm saying, a totally different country with a totally different religion and all other shit. So ain't no telling, you know what I'm saying, like what they doing over there. And you also got to remember that this nigga's a mercenary. This nigga ain't no government agent. He's not a U.S. soldier. He's a mercenary. This nigga's a killer for hire. So who's ever coming at his way, I mean, God bless you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Good luck with that. So I think, you know what I'm saying, that's to me, that's the best part about action movies, and especially action movies like this, that they show so many different situations and so many different realizations. You know what I mean? And then because you live in, you know what I'm saying, America, and you see this in your head, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe he just threw that kid up against the car. But in other places, they like, oh my God, I can't believe that kid let him throw him up against the car. like it's like that sometimes, man. And then, like, you know, to me, bringing up, because I think his name was, hold on, let me see. His name is Avi in the movie, or Ovi or Avi or something like that. The fact that Avi was the one to pretty much kill Tyler, you know what I'm saying? Like, even after fighting him and going through the stuff that he went through with it, like that's what I mean when I say like they really did a good job at putting this together and not making this one of those over the top action movies and making Tyler just like this untouchable hero. Like the fact that he ended up getting shot by that kid. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said like it's poetry, bro, because it's like you like after a while you forget about him through that whole sequence. You're not even worried about him through that whole sequence. And then finally when it happened and you see him, the first, you know what I'm saying, you throwing your hands up like, oh, I forgot about this month. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they did it, like I said, man, they put this mug together real good. And I don't know, man. I think this might definitely be one of the best to go down. Chris Hemsworth might have one with this one.
Oh, definitely. And before we go to the next one, like you said, like the ending of it was poetic, but then at the same time, it happens 3 times in this movie. The first time it happened with the dude that helped him try to get the boy to the bridge or whatever, whether it's a scene where when they get the drop on them, and it's like you got 2 people who just shooting each other. And like they keep shooting and they keep shooting, they keep getting hit, they keep getting hit, and then it's like that happens 2 more times in the fucking second one. So like that's a whole little thing, like you said, that gun fu shit, where there's just like, well, you know what I'm saying, somebody get the drop on you, you get the drop on them, and y'all both just sitting there in front of each other, shooting each other to death.
Right.
So I thought that was dope. But like you said, the ending was poetic. Like you don't know, like if he lives, if he dies. But then they do give you a little bit, which this part don't make sense, and I don't know if it was a dream. Because once you see the second one, well, it could be multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember when the kid was swimming, when he went back to school, said 8 months later, when the kid was swimming, they show you this blurry figure where it looks like it's Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the only problem. Going into the second one,
we know it ain't.
We know it can't be unless it still wouldn't make sense because it said 8 months later.
Yeah.
Because the problem is my dude was in rehab and he was in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the rehab. He went to a coma and then he went to rehab.
Mm-hmm.
So it couldn't have been him 8 months later.
Right.
But going into the second one, I thought that was dope for it to go down that way. Like the movie starts where it ended, where his body, washes up on the thing. They grab him, they put him in the hospital and all that shit. I like that shit went down because it was like, yo, there's no way he could have survived all that shit without any type of, you know what I mean? So for him to be in a coma and for his leg to be fucked up the way that it was and all of that type shit, that's what I love about cinema is when you take a story and you continue it, but you start it exactly where it ended, but you make it make sense by like this is a human being. Like this motherfucker don't have any superpowers. Right. So you know what I'm saying? He was fucked up.
Big time.
You know what I mean? He was fucked up. Like, I mean, it doesn't say how long he was in a coma.
Nah, it don't really give you no time frame for real. But I do like the fact that, you know what I'm saying, it kind of shows you just everything that he really went through. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it made sense to show you, you know what I'm saying, from him coming back up through that and going through everything that he had to go through and dealing with the, you know what I'm saying, the mental part of it. Because I thought that was super important. The fact that they added that in there, like in his mind, he really wasn't fucking with nobody after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was, you know what I'm saying, he basically made himself a loner. And I thought that was interesting because throughout the whole first movie, he was a part of a team. You know what I'm saying? Like his whole thing was, you know what I'm saying, team driven. It was him, it was Nick, and it was Yaz. And they all, you know what I'm saying, all three of them technically was always working together. So now to start this one off to where he's pretty much in this mental state of he don't want to fuck with nobody. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was an interesting piece to add in there.
And I get it because like he was under the whole mindset of like, because like I say, at the time, we don't know if both died. We know because it made it seem like the mother and the son died.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like they started it out right from the jump where it shows you the blurry kid and then it goes clear. And then you actually see the kid. In the first movie, it was just blurry the whole time.
Yep.
And right from the jump, they actually show you the kid. So he's like, okay, so now we got the kid. And then it starts showing you the kid with, you know what I'm saying, with the joint up his nose and he bald headed. You like, oh shit, the kid got cancer.
Yep.
And so then the whole thing of like he left because, you know what I'm saying, he I guess, you know, which it shows you later in the movie where he was like, yo, I couldn't save him. He was like, I'm going on all these missions and I'm saving all these people, and the one person that I want to save, I can't fucking save him.
Right.
So he didn't want to stay around for it. But the whole fact of like he was making these jokes, there wasn't jokes to him. He was like, yo, y'all could have just, I would have been basically better off dead. You know what I mean? Like he didn't even really want to be here anymore.
Right.
And so Nick had to tell him like, yo, like you basically got a purpose, you know, for being here, for you to survive what you went through. There's a reason why you're here. And then this movie gives you all of those fucking reasons.
Absolutely.
And, I'm talking about once you figure out the family tree of this shit is crazy as fuck. Like These motherfuckers went into this writing room, dude, and they wrote their ass
Yeah,
off.
they pieced the second one together very well, bro. Because the fact of you really getting two stories in one.
Yes.
You getting the story of Zurab and you getting the story of Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was dope to be able to show everything that Zurab, you know what I'm saying, had went through and who he was, because they don't do a lot of that either. They don't really show you who the
antagonist.
Yeah, they don't show you a lot about him early in the movie either. And a lot of the, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the action movies we hear about, like you might hear like some people tell a myth about him or a story about him. Like they really went into his life and talked about who he was. And so I thought that was dope too for them to do that early, so you kind of know that when this main fight scene happens or when this main action sequence happens, you know that he's just as dangerous as Tyler is. You know what I'm saying? He could possibly come out of this as the victor at the end of the movie. And I think that's the best part about all of this is the fact that you kind of see like this dude is really about that life. And now like the fact that Tyler has to go up against this person, like like, oh yeah, it's really about to be some problems. So, you know what I'm saying? That kind of added to the mystique of the movie and that kind of added to the flair of it too. But I do appreciate the fact that they didn't just make this a full action movie. Like they added a lot of redemption to the movie too, because you seen the way that his interactions with Nick was in this movie and Yaz was in this movie. You seen how at the end, you know what I'm saying, how, or not even at the end, just towards the end, how he ended up coming to his ex-wife and telling her, like, you know what I'm saying, they finally had a chance to have that conversation about what had happened and everything like that. And it kind of made it, you know what I'm saying, like, damn, like, yeah, okay, he really about to go in and do his thing. The only beef I have with this movie, though, I got to get this off my chest, because the only beef I have with this movie was the mini the mini action montage. You know what I'm saying? The mini rehab montage where he ripping off all this shit and then he lifting weights and, you know what I'm saying, going through all that. And then at the end, he throw the axe at the tree. I'm like, come on, bro. This was supposed to be 6 weeks, my nigga. You ain't doing, you ain't getting that good in 6 weeks, man. Come on, bro. Like, are we serious?
Yes, man. He's serious, man.
He did all that. He did all that off of chopping wood and moving rocks and push-ups. Like, come on, bro. Nah.
Yeah, man. And you know what I'm saying? And doing pull-ups, man, with the ropes, man.
Listen. When his arm was fucked up.
Man, yeah, he got out that sling. He was ready, baby.
He took the sling off like nothing ever happened. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, bro. Like, man,
dude, it was the motivation, man. And then they don't really tell us. So first of all, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to explain this, because I was gonna be like, All Scott. And everybody gonna be like, who the fuck is All Scott? The motherfucker never say his name in the movie, but they got his name in the damn credits. But I'm talking about Idris Elba. Pops out of no fucking where. You know what I'm saying? He pops up and he's the one who basically give him the mission. And we sitting there, and then even Nick was like, first of all, why did this person come to you for the job? Knowing the situation that you're in right now, why did they go to you? And not only why did they go to you, but why did you accept it? And you don't know yet. And there's this dude, which is what's his name?
Well, no, we find out before he even talked to Nick about the mission. Because when him and you said his name was
All Scott.
Yeah, when him and Oscar was talking, remember he was like, I wouldn't tell whoever it is, I wouldn't take the job. He was like, what if it was your ex-wife? And remember he broke it down to him.
Yeah, it was his ex-wife, but that wasn't who he saved.
No, I'm saying, like, as far as who sent Oscar to come there. And then when he found out who she was, he definitely did it for that reason, because of, you know what I'm saying, who she was connected to, which was her sister.
Yep. And then so you got this one dude, he's in prison. And when I first saw it, it kind of threw me off, because you see the cell.
Yeah.
You see these two kids, I'm like, what the fuck? And then you see this woman.
Yeah.
You're like, what the hell is going on?
This like, what the fuck did they do?
Yeah, like, and then come to find out, old dude is locked up. So he's like, yo, I want my damn family to be locked up with me. You know what I'm saying? And he tried to justify the shit of like keeping them safe. Like, motherfucker, don't lock. I'm 15 years old.
What's trash is the fact that nigga, you and your brother basically run this fucking country, and you telling me that you worried about me being sick. Why don't I just go live with your brother?
Thank you. Like, it only makes sense to where my brother is ruthless in the type of person that he is. Why don't you take my family in and you make sure they're safe? Point blank, period.
Quick question. Your girl get locked up. Are you getting locked up in the cell across from her?
Fuck no. Kidding me? Are you kidding me? Hell no. And my 2 kids gotta come with me too. And we in a cell all day.
Hey, bro, that's crazy. No. That is crazy.
No.
Not only am I already in here for 10 years, they gonna add up. They gonna tack on another team. So basically, like, your kids just ain't got no real life, bro. Because like the way that the guard was treating them, like they was prisoners too, though.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's wild, bro.
And then, I mean, the other way around. But I'm taking abuse while I'm here. You talking shit to me, and you smacking me up while I'm in prison with you. Fuck no. Yeah, man, you kiss my ass. Hell no. So he goes and yo, I'm telling you, this motherfucker took on a whole prison. Literally. And then he ended up killing the brother downstairs. But he had help because she helped him. Yeah. She hit that motherfucker with a shovel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it was over for him anyway. He got stabbed in the neck. The shovel just kind of was like the cherry on top.
Yeah, it was. But he was still coming though. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't quitting when he got stabbed in the neck.
That was her get back.
Yeah, that was for slapping me earlier. You know what I'm saying? And making me feel like shit.
You already put me in jail, my.
Yeah, and so the kid is like, they lying to the kid, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, well, your father's coming. You know what I'm saying? He's not too far behind and all of this type shit. And so, but this is the wildest part when they actually reveal like what's really going on. Once they get to the point where they're really able to really sit down and have a conversation, it was really when they was on the plane. They on the plane, but the kid didn't get the boy, the teenage boy, he didn't get to hear this conversation because he was in the fucking bathroom debating if he should call his fucking uncle or not. But he didn't get to hear the conversation. Yeah, we gonna get to him. Mm-hmm. But the whole fact of Nick is like, yo, why did you take this case and who's this girl? And then we find out that it's his ex-wife's sister. So he's like, wait a minute. So you just saved your sister-in-law and your niece and nephew. He's like, what the fuck? I'm thinking like,
if mine called me, hey, my sister's she had look. What are we talking about? She's done for. Whatever she's in it. Get ready. You know what I'm saying? She's done. She's out of it. I'm sorry. Ain't nothing I can do for you.
So in all actuality, my dude killed his fucking brother-in-law. I'm like, yo, who's in this right room? I'm like, yo, they murdered this shit. So I'm sitting here like, I'm putting the pieces together and they having the conversation, and then they're still giving you bits and pieces of Tyler, and you're learning that the boy, that his son died of cancer and he actually left. So he feels like a coward because he couldn't stay for, you know what I'm saying, those last stages of his son's cancer or whatever. And, you know, he blamed it on being deployed and all of that type of shit when he really could have stayed. But, you know what I'm saying? But that was just that one bullet that he couldn't bite. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think that one thing that hits home, like you can go over into all these countries and you can shoot a 7-year-old kid, you know what I'm saying, with a bone scratch to his chest. But when it's your son, you know what I'm saying, your only child, you know what I'm saying, you see him with a bald head and he's getting weaker, and you know, I'm pretty sure there's vomit in there.
It's like you said though, like to me, a part of this that I thought, you know what I'm saying, that they added in that was dope was the fact that that internal struggle that he had. You know what I'm saying? The internal struggle that kind of kept him going through this whole thing was just the fact that, like you said, he could save all of these people. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He could go and save all of these people and do all of these things. But the one person that, you know what I'm saying, he loved the most in the world, and you know what I'm saying, that he cherished the most in the world, he couldn't do nothing for it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the amount of bullets or none of that or fighting and none of that could save him. And so, you know what I'm saying, once he realized that, like him going off and doing everything that he did, it was like, yeah, I can't be here for this. Like, this is, you know what I mean? Some people are like that. Like, that's some tough shit though, to lose your child. I mean, damn.
I think that's why he took it. I think once he found out that his ex-wife was the one who asked him to go in and save her sister, I think he's like, I did something wrong to her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I left her at a vulnerable time, so I'm gonna go and do this mission for you to save my sister, and not only your sister, but my niece and nephew too. Yeah. I'm gonna go save them because I couldn't save my son. Absolutely. And that whole conversation that they had was so dope because he was finally able to get that one weight off his shoulder that really gave him, to me, that second win. When she told him that he didn't look at you that way. That's what that whole picture, because it showed us this picture of him sitting on top of the world. Yeah. And like what that picture meant, because he never knew what it meant really. He just, thought it was just a picture that his son drew. And it meant that he was saving the world. So his son wasn't upset that he wasn't there towards the end. His son looked at him as a hero. Yeah, so I thought that was dope, and that gave him that second win of like that second chance at life. I think because at the beginning of this movie, he was like, yo, why am I here? I could have just died and all this type of shit. And I think that him hearing that from his ex-wife, because I think that he thought that his son looked at him as a coward for leaving, when all actuality, his son was like, yo, my dad saves people. And you know what I mean? And I'm not mad at him for going to go do his job.
Yeah, the one person that we all are mad at though is Sandro. This little punk.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? I don't
talk about it.
Man, listen. Salute to the actor who played Sandro. Salute to the writers who wrote the character. Because we say this all the time. Whenever a character in a movie gets you in some type of emotion, they are doing a wonderful job. That means that they're doing everything that they are supposed to be doing. And when I tell you, I feel like the way people hated Tariq in Power is the way I hated Sandro in this movie. Bam! First and foremost, the questions that he was asking in the middle of the extraction was pissing me off. Okay, why are Uncle's people shooting at us? Don't they know we in here, my nigga? Apparently they do. So them shooting at you should tell you they don't fuck with you, bro.
No,
and you still walking around talking about I'm what was they called? Nagazi? I'm still Nagazi. Are you sure about that? Because the rest of them want to put a bullet in you. Like, come on, bro. You ain't no way you that stupid. If somebody is saving me and the people that I'm supposed to, or the people that I relate to or say I'm a part of, come out and they shooting up this bulletproof truck that I'm in and flipping it over and shooting missiles at me, after a while, I'm be like, you know what? I don't think they mess with me like that.
And then to ask the whole question of, is he gonna kill my mom? And then he's like, why did you even make the phone call? Like, yeah, he's gonna kill your mom. Like, yo, he sees your mom as a fucking traitor. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's hanging with it.
How are you asking that question after they done flipped over every car you done fucking been in at this point?
Dude, he was.
What are you talking about?
That fucking kid, Yeah, and I get why they did it this way, because it wouldn't be a movie without it. Because like the last 45 minutes was because he made that fucking phone call. So it's like it had to go down that way. But he was really and I don't know when he found out, or if he found out that was actually his fucking uncle. But no, yes, he's his uncle too. So
no,
I
he do
didn't.
remember because when they went to the penthouse and they was getting the medical attention for his sister, when him and Tyler was talking, and he was like,
Yeah, that's when he told me.
no, he said something about a father wouldn't do something. He said no, he said a kid shouldn't do something. And he said, yeah, a father would never make him choose. And he was like, well, at least my father never left me.
Yeah,
and then he walked
yeah.
out.
Yeah, because he didn't have no retort for that, because he was just like, because at that time, he was just like, that was before him and his ex-wife had that conversation. So, he still really looked at himself as, as a coward, because he couldn't stay towards the end of that. So I thought that whatever they was doing, right, like I said, the Russo brothers, they fucking murdered that shit. The way that they was able to put that shit together, it was really dope. And then the whole church scene where, what I'm saying, like, okay, this is when you really found out that this one uncle ain't worth the shit. This motherfucker strapped a bomb to my chest with a dead man trigger, my guy. like, yo, fuck this
and
uncle,
he was still questioning shit.
Yeah. Still like, damn, should I do this or not?
First off, he put the bomb vest on him and then told him, shoot him. And he's sitting up there going through, fam, I got a bomb on me. Ain't nothing you can tell me at this point to where I'll fuck with you no more. You my least favorite uncle in the world at this point. Like, everything we've been through is over with, fam. Like, what are we talking about? Speaking of, bro, once again, coming back to it, same thing, you know what I'm saying? We say it all the time. A movie is only as good as the antagonist. And I gotta give him credit. Zurab was a great antagonist. He was a really good antagonist. You find out how deadly he is in the beginning of the movie. You know what I'm saying? At first you don't even know who dude is. You just see him feeding some pigs and stuff like that, and you know what I'm saying, taking care of a farm, feeding some sheep. Some dude walks up, tell him they giving your brother an extra 10 years. Then you see him talking to the governor or whoever dude was supposed to be. And he talking about a sick bull and all this other stuff. And, then he tell him, like, don't forget, you the reason that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm the reason that you in here in the first place. A whole bunch of other stuff. He like, man, look, the U.S. down our back. What you expect me to do, man? You know what I'm saying? We doing our best. And he was like, yeah. Stabbed him in the throat with the pitchfork, and then kicked my man in the grave.
And you want to know who was digging the grave?
Who?
The director of the movie. That was his cameo. Yep.
That's what's up.
Yeah, his cameo was him. He was the grave, because I saw it in the IMDb. He was the grave digger.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yep.
But I mean, bruh, come on, man. Like the way that they introduce him in the movie without really even having to introduce him was great. I like that. Yeah. I enjoyed that. You know what I'm saying? That let me know that the stakes are going to be high. That lets you know that this dude is not to be played with. This dude is really about that life. And then to go into the backstory, like you said, with the whole church thing and showing them how they had to leave, you know what I'm saying, Georgia to begin with. Then they ended up, I think they said they went to Yemen, and then they went to Armenia. And then it was a war, another war in Armenia, and then they had to deal with that, and they ended up coming back to Georgia and pretty much getting it out the mud. And then they like the biggest crime syndicate in, you know what I'm saying, ever at this point. And they really running the whole country just off of what they do. I thought that was dope to be able to see, you know what I'm saying, that backstory and give you a little bit of who Zurab was without, you know what I'm saying, going into this long drawn out thing and, you know what I'm saying, making it, this scene and then you getting a piece of it in this scene. Like, they really just got through it real quick, gave you enough of what you needed, and they got busy. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that part was dope. Like everything that you mentioned, but like, man, that fucking airport scene when my
Mm-hmm.
dude was just trying to have a conversation with him. He was like his top lieutenant, like his right hand
Mm-hmm.
man. He pulls out the Bible. He's like, man, look, I already know everything you read and all this shit. And because he say something that's really telling the truth, but you don't want to hear the truth, and you shoot my man. And then before he dies, he says, I always knew that I was gonna die from a bullet, but never thought it was gonna be a bullet from you. Come on, man. Like, like with him being the antagonist, man, and doing that type shit, like killing his own man's like man like that. When you know what I'm saying, he was just
No,
trying to
that
be
that's
truthful
his
with him.
that was his uncle.
Yeah, and it was his right hand man too. Like he was just, you know what I'm saying? It was just, that just shows you like he have reached a point of no return. He was like, yo, because what he didn't want to hear was your brother's dead, your father's dead. You know what I'm saying? If you don't change, you know what I'm saying, what you're doing, you're gonna be dead. And then you shoot him? He's telling you the truth.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like to add that story, well, to add the backstory in the way that they did, it makes sense as to why he made that move to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Like when he got there, remember they were showing little stuff that was happening while they was there in Armenia. Because remember, he went to go live with his uncle while he was there. And in the midst of that, his uncle was already in that shit. And so they
Yep.
kind of came up in that alongside him. And then, you know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't for their uncle, they probably wouldn't even have been in that. He probably would have been doing something totally different in life. But because of his uncle exposing him to the wars and the gang wars in Armenia, now, you know what I'm saying, he's this crime boss. And so,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Like to me, all of that, it all made sense. And even then, like his uncle knew what he was dealing with, though. You know you can't talk to dude like that. And then especially after everything that just happened, they just tried to get old girl. They all failed. You know what I'm saying? Like his brother dead, and then you go talk about his dad like his dad was a dog, and talk about how weak his dad was or whatever. Like, yeah, shoot him for sure. Get him out of here. Yeah, like who are you talking to, fam? You must have forgot, like Roy Jones. Like what? Like you looking in the face of death at this point, my guy. Like don't disrespect me like that, bro.
I mean, I feel you. I feel you. But then you also got to notice, even though you fam, you got to know the type of shit you can say to certain family,
Absolutely,
especially at that time. But
absolutely.
like I was speaking on before, when we were talking about the first one, man, when he came to the airport, my guy took that
Mhm.
first sniper out, and then he came down with that fucking grenade launcher and took out the plane. He took out every single car. I was like, yo, I need that.
I for sure thought my man that was standing in the doorway, I thought he was about to get hit with a grenade. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he was out of there. Because when Zurab walked off, he turned around and looked outside, and then I seen Chris Hemsworth come around the corner with that grenade launcher. I said, oh yeah, he about to take him out. But then he shot the smoke can out of there. But that was a smart move though, to take out the
Yeah,
transportation away. That was a very
yeah.
smart move.
Yeah, like yeah, we like that's just saying, yo, we're gonna finish this shit today. Like it ain't gonna be no chasing. Like we're gonna handle this shit today.
Yeah,
And I thought it
absolutely.
was dope when after, you know what I'm saying, the kid made his decision, and like they went through their fight scene, which was really fucking dope.
Mm-hmm.
And they both laying on the ground beside each other, and he says, I'm never gonna stop. Motherfucker
Yeah.
just shot him in the head.
The crazy part was after he did everything and they was both laying there, I said, nah, man, what you doing? You got double tap, man. You got to make sure he going. As soon as I said that, that's when he said it and shot him. I was like, there we go. Thank you. What are we doing, man? Another scene that I thought was good that they put in here was the train scene. I thought the train scene was super dope. I thought this
Yes.
was you know what I'm saying, it was dope because we actually got a chance to see Nick get busy. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And that's something that we ain't really get a chance to see in the first one. So we, you know what I mean, we seen her with the guns and everything like that, but we actually got the chance to see her go hand to hand. And let me tell you something, when she tore a dude up with that knife, bro,
Ooh.
hey, my man
Yes.
ain't had nothing left. My man wasn't gonna have nothing left. I'm talking about she cut that boy up like a fresh hog, ready for slaughter. It was over with, bro. It was over with, bro.
Hey, she did him like the butcher in Gangs in New York, my guy.
Man, I'm
Oh,
talking about she just went and then she hit him in the leg and did it. I was like, oh no. I was like, that was sick. I thought her fight scene was super dope, bro. Like for them to show how good of a what I'm saying, like how good of a merc that she was too. I thought that was super important because like for the most part, we don't really get to see we don't really get to see women, you know what I'm saying, like get a chance to duke it out.
well, as of late, we have. Remember, we had this conversation before. You know what
Well,
I'm
I'm talking
saying?
about no, you right. I'm saying in a movie like this, where like the main star is like a Chris Hemsworth or whatever, you don't really get to see, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of that. Like in John Wick 4, they did it as well. They had one of the characters' daughters, you know what I'm saying, she was out there, she got busy and they showed her skill too. But I just think that's dope that you know what I'm saying, we actually get a chance to see somebody who like with Nick, because remember in the beginning they talked about it like Nick was like, yo, you don't send me the missions, I send you the missions. And for the most part, it's like she was like backup. But this one, like, yo, she really showed her skill. We really got to see what she was about. I thought that was nice.
Yeah, and like I mentioned during the first one, we saw this happen 3 times. It happened with the one guy on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
It happened to her and her brother. It happened to her brother first, where it was a whole little scene with 2 people. That girl was whooping his ass, was
Yeah,
in that fucking hallway.
yeah.
Man, that bitch was bad. Man, she was whooping his ass in that damn
Yeah, no
stairwell.
games.
And then, man, they just started going, and both of them got hit about 4 or 5 times each, and he
Mm-hmm.
was able to hit her with a headshot. And then it happened to her at the church.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what I'm saying? They both just standing there shooting at each other, and both of them are
Mm-hmm.
getting hit. So it was, yeah, I like seeing her get busy on the train, but like to have this whole thing be where it's family related,
Yeah.
and then like, I mean, look, these kids got to go through therapy, man. like, man, that little
Not
girl and that
Sandro.
boy
I
ain't
don't
never
give a
gonna be
fuck
the
about
same.
Sandro. Sandro, he can do whatever fuck he wants to at this point. Fuck him. Now the daughter, yeah, for sure. She definitely got to go through it all. You know what I'm saying? She was with the shit. She was like, let me get out of this jail cell. I want to go play with other kids. This is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
This nigga
It,
Sandro, he want to be in the jail cell. I've never seen nothing like that.
yeah, because he wanted to be with his dad. Look, I appreciate the dedication that you want to be with your father, but like, yo, it's sometimes, you know what I'm
Hey
saying, Pops
man,
made his decision. You know what I
tell you
mean?
something.
Like,
If Pops get locked up, bro, Pops get locked up. That ain't got nothing to do with me, okay? He got to eat that
exactly.
time. He got to eat
Yeah,
that time. I got a life
yeah,
to live.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
But I like how, and when I saw Idris Apple pop up, I was like, yo, there's no way this is gonna be it. Like, it can't
No,
be.
yeah, no, not at all.
So, and then to see Tyler in prison and to see Nick in prison, it's like, there's no way this shit gonna end like this. Like, no, like you're not telling me this shit is gonna end like this. And
Mm-mm.
so then, you know what I'm saying, he has the conversation with his ex-wife, and you know what I'm saying, she said her goodbye or whatever. First of all, I don't like how you thank me. You know what I mean? I'm sitting
Mm-hmm.
here facing life in a prison overseas. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? I felt like I needed more gratitude in this little phone conversation. I
Gratitude.
felt like you would.
I wouldn't even be in here if it weren't for you.
It,
I don't thank me for nothing.
yo,
If you
and
want
then like
to thank me, get me out.
exactly, I'm like, you don't know no lawyers, you don't know nobody that can fucking get me out of this shit.
Man,
Like she
something.
just seemed like she wasn't over the shit. You know what I mean?
I don't know,
And
man.
I'm like,
I
yo,
wouldn't say that.
I'm like, that's the only effort you're gonna give. You gonna tell me goodbye? Like what the
Yeah.
fuck? And so then you see he getting transported, and then they pull up, and then I knew it, dude, because I was like,
Mhm.
there's no way Idris Elba is just gonna pop up in the movie for fucking 4 minutes,
Yeah.
you know, and that's it. I was like, when I seen the cars pull up, and I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
all Scott is out there. He's there. He's got to be there.
I thought we was gonna see Idris Elba get busy though. That's what I thought. I was excited
Dude,
about
it's 3. I'm
that. I know,
telling you.
man. I know.
Idris Elba's gonna be in 3. I'm telling you, and he's gonna have a bigger role in the third one. I'm telling you, I know it. I feel it
Because
in my bones.
to me, like I think, especially when it's an action movie like this, to where you know what I'm saying, the guns and the military, he does great, bro. He always does great in movies like that. So I really want to see him in one of these for sure.
I think, and then he was like, "I'm not the name that you need to know. It's my boss."
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, who is this big dog that they're gonna bring in that's gonna end up being his boss?
Yeah.
It's got to be somebody big time. I don't think it's gonna be just an actor that we rarely see.
I don't want it to be corny. I don't want it to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger end up being the fucking
Nah,
boss.
nah, nah. I don't want it to
Don't
be
do
nothing
that.
like that
Yeah.
either.
Don't do that. That's gonna be trash.
Yeah,
But
I
I
wouldn't
mean, the
like
only
that.
reason I'm saying that is because like they are in Eastern Europe, so it's like you gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, I feel you. But like, and then for them to be like, "Yo, we got another job for you, and that's how we're gonna get you out." And he was like, "Yo, and by the way," then Nick pulls up. So for them to end the movie that way, I thought it was really dope. I like how they put the shit together. Yo, I fuck with both of these movies, man.
I
Like
do too.
they did their job on the shit.
And I also appreciate the fact that they let them use their actual accents.
Yeah.
I hate when they try to make it to where they can't, you know what I'm saying, they gotta speak English. Nah, fuck all that, bro. Let them talk the way that they can actually talk. For Idris Elba, when anytime I see Idris Elba speaking in his English accent, bro, I'm like, let's get it. Let's do it. And I feel the same way about Damson Idris. I feel like in future movies or TV shows or whatever he's in the future, we gotta get one to where he's actually in his native accent.
Yep.
Got
I'm with
to.
you on that too. I'm with you
Yeah,
on that too.
for sure. So, man, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's finish this thing out with the fire flames, bro.
Let's do it.
Yoga fire, yoga flame.
All right, man. So, what you got?
Well, for the first one, like I said, Chris did his job. I'm gonna give the first one a 4. And going into the second one and how they was able to connect the dots. Honestly, I'm gonna jump 2 points, man. I'm gonna go with a 5. I really fuck with the second one. Like you mentioned it earlier, I think that when it comes to action movies, like a lot of them have been kind of lacking. And then then a lot of the action movies that we're getting as of late, they're kind of throwing a lot of comedy into them.
Yeah.
And it's like this one was more straight to the point, ruthless, fucking.
Non-stop
I'm gonna
shit.
stab you. I'm gonna stab you in the throat 17 times and then slash that bitch. Like, no, like it's hardcore fucking action, and I fuck with that shit. And I love how they was able to tie in. Like, I like small shit. In the first one, they're showing you these flashbacks and they're blurry, and then as soon as we get to the second one, it's blurry, and then boom, you see it clear. That shit like that, you got me. So I'm giving the first one a 4 and the second one a 5.
That's what's up, man. I will agree with you though. I am also a sucker for details, I must say. But it's not necessarily as far as even just like storyline goes. It's just with anything. Like what I did appreciate about this movie was even though they, you know what I'm saying, weren't technically a part of a specific military, they were still military, you know what I'm saying, trained, and they were mercenaries. So the fact that even when like they was moving through, you know what I'm saying, like the factories or when they moving through the jail to extract them, they really using the tactic of, you know what I'm saying, clear out, go, you know what I'm saying, to the left, copy, you know what I mean? Like they talking, they moving, communicating. We don't see a lot of that in movies. So the fact that they got super detailed with that, like with their movements and their formations and everything, even when they was in the trucks talking, you know, he like, yo, don't let them get in between us. I mean, don't let them get in between us, you know what I'm saying, something formation. Like I appreciate those type of things because it really puts you in the mindset and makes you believe that character is really what they're portraying. So I definitely appreciate that. The first one for me is definitely a 4.5. The action in it is amazing. The story in it is amazing. The setup at the end is what really made it happen for me. The fact that you know, like I said, you thinking that everything is good, you know what I'm saying, you excited, and then boom, they hit you with, you know what I'm saying, the hammer over the head, and you know what I'm saying, we think that Tyler dies in the end. And then in the second one, for them to come back and piece the story together, and then not only that, add a whole another story up on top of that and make it just as good as the first one. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving that a 4.5 as well. I wanted to give it a 5, but I don't know, man. I've seen better action movies. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I've seen a lot better action movies. But to me, this is definitely up there. I will give them credit though. This is one of those ones that, you know, you can definitely watch over again. You can definitely rewatch. It has a great rewatch value for sure. Replay value is super high on that, on both of them.
Mhm.
But I'm giving them both 4.5s. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed. You know what I'm saying, on both movies. Second one more so than the first, because the first you don't really know what to expect, but with sequels, because of the fact that you got the success of the first one and how good the first one is, for them to come back and, you know what I'm saying, be able to make it just as good, or if not a little bit better, you know what I'm saying, for them to be able to do that, you got to give them credit for that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and rock with a 4.5 on both of them.
Cool, cool. Ain't mad at it.
And so to continue, man, let's go ahead and get into coming soon.
Let's do it.
Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
All right. What we have next is Without Bias. I don't know nothing about this one. This is all you, my guy.
What? The
Yeah.
story of Lynn Bias? Come on, man. We hitting y'all with a 30 for 30, man.
Oh,
You
it's a third.
know,
Okay, never mind. Never mind. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure you've seen it. You know what I'm saying? The
No, I
story
mean,
of Lynn Bias.
yeah, I know about Lynn Bias. I didn't know what the title. You know, I didn't know.
Okay. Yeah, the 30 for 30 there, man. We got our doc for this month. And this was the dude, coming out of Maryland. Like this was the dude. Everybody want Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan. He
Mm-hmm.
busted Michael Jordan ass when he was in North Carolina. You hear me? He
Mm-hmm.
was the guy that was supposed to take over that Larry Bird mantle. And honestly, this is what really, I mean, I hate to say it, but this is what set the Celtics back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They used a first round pick on this power forward coming out of
Mm-hmm.
Maryland that was supposed to be like, I mean, at the time, he was projected to be better than Michael Jordan. And
Yeah.
the way that the story goes, he tried cocaine for the first time, had a heart attack, and he died from it. So it's gonna be educational, man, going over this for the people that don't really know the story of Lynn
Yeah.
Bias. So it's gonna be
For
nice
sure.
to be able to go over this and break it down and get into the whole discussion around cocaine and really just that time and this whole Michael Jordan shit. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be good going over that.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, the story of Lynn Bias is crazy because you don't really get a lot of what could have been stories, especially when it's as big as this one was. And then not only that, the the temperature surrounding, you know what I'm saying, the time that we're gonna be talking about too. The fact that, you got cocaine and crack and the epidemic happening and all of these things, you know what I'm saying, culminating. And, you know what I'm saying, this was a huge, huge story, of course. And to find out that, you know, a guy who could have been like, truthfully, it may have never been a Michael Jordan if it wasn't for this.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Um, who knows, man? But we definitely about to get to it, and we're gonna cover
Oh
that
yeah.
in the next episode. This is gonna be interesting because not only is, you know what I'm saying, this culture related, but it's sports related. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, we both, you know what I'm saying, know the stories of each other, so you know what I'm saying, we'll definitely be able to relate to some of these things that we're about to hear and about to see for sure. Um, So y'all stay tuned. Y'all get in, you know what I'm saying, and get ready for this next episode, man. It's gonna be a good one. And last but not least, make sure, man, listen, if you guys are enjoying the show, if you guys are loving the show, and you guys want more, we found a way to do it. We do have a very own subscription service. Well, not subscription service, but we have our very own subscription. $2.99 a month. If you guys want to check it out, the link will be in the descriptions. So you know what I'm saying, you can go there, hit that $2.99 a month. We already got episodes in there, so you can go back and listen to a few of the past episodes. But we are definitely about to get into doing the bonus content and everything else, so you guys can listen and watch on all the stuff that we can't cover, you know what I'm saying, outside of here. We will have stuff there. We're not sure exactly what our content is going to be on there, but we can guarantee you it's definitely going to be episodes on there. And not only that, man, like if you do subscribe, make sure you hit us up and let us know. I am thinking about getting with some people and getting some merch done. So, you know, for all the people that subscribe, we definitely might have to do like a free merch thing for them. I think that'd be dope.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, keep that in mind, please, please, please. Like I said, the link is in the description. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. That would be great. But also make sure you like, you know what I'm saying, you liking the podcast. Make sure you sharing the podcast with somebody else. If you haven't followed or subscribed for the free, make sure you do that immediately. Please, please, please. And if you if you enjoy listening, you would like watching even better. Make sure you go to Spotify and watch us on Spotify. That's the only place you can watch the podcast. So definitely check that out. But if you enjoyed Extraction, if you enjoyed Extraction 2, if you thought the Chris Hemsworth montage, working out and doing all that other stuff was just as ridiculous as I did, hit us up on the socials and tell us all about it, man. We got Instagram and Twitter at View9Pod. We got Facebook VA Pod Watch Group. Don't forget Twitter. We have a community as well, so you can join the community and talk about all the movies and TV that you like to talk about. S. Dot, you know what I'm saying? He's a power watcher, so you can definitely go and talk about power with him. If you got, you know what I'm saying, some documentaries about octopuses or something, you could definitely hit me up, man. We are very well rounded. So join that thing. Let's talk about it. Let's get those conversations going. And if you like to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at Scrooge Bronson. I got a link tree in my bio. You can find me everywhere else there.
And y'all can find me at s.foster8 on Instagram and on Twitter at 28 minutes or less pod. That's just on IG. Follow the podcast, 28 minutes or less. Just dropped the new episode the other day, man. It's Creed 3. You know what I'm saying? So I did my breakdown on that, man. It was something that I got inspired real quick. You know what I'm saying? By I watched it in the movies and I watched it when I put it on Prime and I got inspired and I just, you know what I'm saying, I just got to it, you know what I'm saying? So go check out episode 127 on the podcast, and that's all I got.
That's what's up, man. So listen, thank you guys very much. We appreciate all the support that you guys give us, for tuning in, for hitting us up, for rating the podcast, for giving us ideas, you know, all that good stuff, man. This has been a fun journey, and it's continuing to get better and better with time. So thank you guys for joining along on the ride. If you are new to this pod, thank you for jumping in. Hopefully you enjoy the ride as well. And you continue to ride with us as we go along with this. But this is the end, so you already know, man, like they say in Hollywood, that is a wrap.
Cut.